Let it rip, man. Damn, you playing? We already got a donation. Yeah, we should be. Black people always late.
Oh shit.
What's going on, people? Hoteps been told you, episode 58. I am Uncle Hotep. Is Hotep Jesus. We have a special guest tonight, the science guy. What's going on? Hotep Jesus, what's going on, man? What's going on with you, man?
Hey, you know me, I'm just over here stressing because we had to get some new software. It's looking all right though, right? Everybody here is good in the chat. Type one in the box if we looking good in the chat. It looks good to me over here. You know, I'm just happy it's Thursday. I love Thursdays, man. Another episode of Whole Chest Been Told You, man.
Yo, you know what I've been doing, man? This is slightly off topic. I've been watching Dragon Ball Z, man. I felt left out, you know, because I'm seeing all you younger cats talk about Dragon Ball Z. So I was like, let me give fun and animation, whatever the app's called. Let me give you $5. And I started watching Dragon Ball Z. And this guy he been running down Dragon Way for half a season, man. I'm sick of that, man.
Wait. What episode are you on? Who?
Oh, I'm like on 39 now. They had the big fight at the end of the season. You know, that's the episode I'm on now. But, you know, I'm feeling culture. I had to get cultured up because I got to talk to you, got young black men now.
We got to see what saga you on. You might be on the Cell saga. You might be on the Boo saga. Or the Cell Game saga. It's a lot of saga. We gotta find out where you at in the storyline.
Anyway, we'll get back to that later. Tonight, we gotta introduce Tanai. Tanai, somebody says Tanai, the hairline guy. So they already know about you, man. We'll get to the hairlines later. But we got Tanai on, I always talk about black folks with them papers on the wall. You know, a lot of times the papers on the wall be like, gender studies and stuff like that. But he's got the real papers on the wall, some official, PhD type stuff. Tonight, what's going on? Tell me about yourself. What's going on?
What's good, man? Appreciate y'all having me on. Hotep Nation held me down from the jump, so I appreciate y'all having me on. I am Dr. Tanai Riggs. Get it right.
Talk.
Yeah, Tanai Riggs, PhD chemistry, organic chemistry specifically. Study at the interface of chemistry and biology. Graduate of University of Tennessee, Knoxville, class of 2017. Go Balls! And here to chop it up with y'all, man. It's good.
Yo, Hotep Jesus, what was you talking about on Rogan, man? What was you talking about that soy? What was you talking, man?
Yeah, so what we have is some conflict between phytoestrogens in the human body, and people had some things to say about what I had to say. But today we have the expert who could break down why soy is bad for you and what it's doing to our bodies.
Man, so all right. So soy is a double-edged sword. I'm gonna start off by saying that because you have a lot of older Chinese cultures and East Asian cultures that have fermented soy products as a staple in their diets, and they're not seeing some of the effects that a lot of people now that consume like these processed soy products are seeing. That being said, soy does contain what's called phytoestrogens. So soy is three compounds. They're called isoflavones. Isoflavones mimic estrogen activity in the body, which basically means that they act like estrogens in the body. And overconsumption of them, especially for men.
To not talk up a little bit, the chat said they can't hear you too well.
Okay, let me turn this up. All right, so can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, good. So soy is a double-edged sword because soy and these phytoestrogens that are in soy specifically There's three kinds. They're called isoflavones. Isoflavones are phytoestrogens. They do act on alpha type estrogen receptors. However, they're also antioxidants. So there's been a craze within the last probably 10, 15 years where people talk a lot about antioxidants and, reducing oxidative stress. And because of the molecular structure of these isoflavones, they also act as antioxidants, which means that they're free radical scavengers. So if you have any kind of free radical reactive oxygen species within your body, these soy isoflavones can actually capture those electrons and keep them from damaging the cells further in your body. Now, the problem with this, obviously, is that because it has dual activity, when you have other antagonists in the environment, they begin to have a synergistic effect, which means that these two things they come together and they start to amplify each other, right? So when you look at the xenoestrogens and plastics, so you talk about bisphenol A that's in all these plastic bottles. Everybody has all these plastic water bottles, plastic soda bottles, things like that. And then they talk about BPA being in can lining. So if you eat canned foods, you eat anything that comes out of a can, some of these cans have BPA inside of the lining. So when you actually pour the food out, it already has BPA leached into your food. So, and then there's other xenoestrogens in the environment that come as a result of industrial processes. So and also birth control pills. Birth control pills are another xenoestrogen that's not talked about at all, even though it really should be, because a lot of it's poison in the water supply. So when you take all of these things together and realize that all of them are acting on estrogen receptors, people want to single out soy. It's not just soy. The other part of this too is that the majority of the soy that's produced in the United States is genetically modified. It's Roundup ready. So it's constructed in such a way, the molecular structure is made in such a way that is used to resist glyphosate that's in Roundup. So everybody's been hearing lately about the big settlements with Monsanto dealing with glyphosate causing cancer. So, and one of the things that happens when you have overabundance of glyphosate in your body, it causes wide scale oxidative stress, which leads to cancer. So there's the soy argument is very, very nuanced. If you were to ask me if you should consume it, no. Like generally, no, I'm going to say you shouldn't. However, there is record of other cultures consuming it with no problem. It's because their preparation methods. At the same time, the majority of people that are eating the soy now, they're not eating it that way. So it's going to cause the damage that people think that it caused. On top of it being pesticide laden, any kind of other chemicals that may be going on, plus the other xenoestrogens that are in the environment, the other chemicals that you have to worry about that are causing these issues, they're also having an effect with the soy as well. So it's not just the soy, but the soy is a big part of it because of all the chemicals that they put with and all the chemicals that are already in the environment. So the average person would do well with staying away from soy, but it is a deeper argument than just saying, oh, this is soy. Like soy has become a meme on our side of the internet, but it's like, when you really break down the science, you do see that there are a lot of research papers out there that show that there are actual health benefits for soy that they tested men and women. So it's a deeper argument than just saying, oh, there's phytoestrogens in it, so it has to be bad. Because take, for example, a herb like milk thistle. Milk thistle is an excellent liver purifier, but it also has phytoestrogens in it. But you don't ever hear anybody talking about phytoestrogens in that because the overall net effect of that herb is going to be purifying and cleansing for your body. So it's really about how is it being balanced in your body. And for the average person, there's too much between the plastic, the birth control pills, the food, and the soy, and the herbicides and pesticides. It has a synergistic effect, and then all those things compound on top of each other. And then, they just point the finger at soy when it's a much more nuanced argument.
So you're saying the Western people don't know how to cook soy? Basically, that's what you're saying. You're saying these Western cats don't know how to cook this shit. You don't know how to cook it. Leave this shit alone.
Yeah, and a lot of people are eating the processed soy, and when you eat the processed soy, you also have to realize too that there are other chemicals inside of processed food. You got the preservatives, a lot of these preservatives they cause oxidative stress. I mean, they mimic. They also have phytoestrogenic activity, and then all of the processed stuff is full of Roundup. So I mean, you have so many things, especially with like these meat alternatives and like these vegan these soy nuggets and all that stuff. It's you might as well just eat chicken if you're gonna eat a soy nugget. Like, just being honest, like there are a lot of people that they'll eat the meat substitutes and thinking that they're doing better for themselves. And when you start looking at the back of the package, it's like, damn, you might as well just eat whatever animal this is trying to mimic. So it's just. You just gotta. This is more about staying away from the processed soy than anything. If you're consuming soy that's traditionally made like it is in Asian cultures, then generally it's gonna be fine for you. And also, those people don't eat a lot of it. Like, they don't eat like the soy every single day. So I mean, it's just like a lot of other things. Like,
so basically, what I took away from all of that is, if you a black male in America, soy turns you into Don Lemon.
Don turns you into Don Lemonade. So yeah, I mean, like I said, as a whole, you want to stay away from it, especially the processed stuff. But there is another side to the argument where you can say that the chemicals that are in some soy products actually do have some protective and restorative effects for the body, especially when it comes to oxidative stress.
So some people were talking about, like, how come it doesn't bother the Asians? I know that if you ferment soy, it changes its properties.
Yeah.
And soy sauce happens to be a fermented version of soy. So, people have asked me, is soy sauce okay? Yeah, soy sauce is prepared properly. But like Uncle Hotep said, this is a Western world that doesn't know how to utilize this plant in its proper form.
Right. I mean, even like the soy sauce that's here now, like it's super processed. Like, all that stuff is it's the Monsanto soybeans, and it's a bunch of salt. I mean, it's just not prepped the same way.
Word.
Hey, tonight, this is 2019, and we're in this racial charged world, whatever. You're in a field where I'm gonna ask you. I'm assume you might not see a lot of people that look like you. Did you ever have any difficulties in your trek? Because it's like being a doctor. Let me get that straight. We're Dr. Tanai over here. You had a long road to your to get that title. You know what I'm saying? So what was some of your journey to get that that certificate, that paper on the wall? What difficulties you had being a black man doing that?
So the ironic thing is that, like, it's not even hanging on my wall. It's like it's somewhere in storage in my apartment. Like, it's not hanging up. It's got dust on it. I have no idea what my degree is. I really don't. But it's interesting. A lot of people don't. This is actually a question that I rarely get, and is a question that sometimes I feel like I should get more often. But my experience in STEM and getting a PhD was really different. And it was really highlighted when I began to look for jobs after I graduated. It was really hard for me to find a job when I graduated, even though the work that I did in graduate school was really good. And one of the things that I try to tell people now when they think about getting a higher level degree or getting a terminal degree is to make connections, because your connections are more important than the work that you do a lot of times. Like, there are a lot of people that I know personally that were at UT when I was there, and they're liable to blow some shit up in lab. But they have jobs now. But they have jobs because they're connected. Their supervisors are connected. The people that they're in lab with are connected. So when you're going to college is about making connections, and it's even more pronounced on the terminal degree level. Now, if you go in and you publish 3 or 4 papers and they get in some high impact journals, people are just gonna naturally find you. But for somebody like me, I only have one first author paper, even though I did a ton of work in grad school. Like, you can read my dissertation. My dissertation is 220 pages total, but about 130 pages of that is like research and background, like stuff that I actually did myself. So I did a lot of stuff in grad school. it just wasn't published. There's a lot of things that are still in the works, and there's a lot of people that are still carrying on the research that I did while I was there. So you really have to. I think the thing that I wish that I had understood when I went in was that A, there's actually a surplus of PhD chemists, and B, your job prospects are heavily dependent on how many connections you make, and it's very difficult to make connections when there's not a lot of people that A, look like you, that have been through that situation, and B, people are just willing to help you in general. So I didn't make a lot of friends when I did my PhD. I made a lot of enemies when I did my PhD, because it was hard for me to relate to a lot of people that were there. I mean, I'm in the foothills of Appalachia, essentially. I up until high school, I went to school in predominantly black schools, and I had mostly black friends. That changed when I got in high school, and then when I went to high school, undergrad, and then grad school, all of that changed. So it was a little bit of a shock, and it's hard. Like, a lot of these people have a built-in advantage because they already have connections, right? They already have these connections to different places, and I made it doubly hard on myself because the disciplines that are known in that area, specifically in the East Tennessee area, are physical chemistry, analytical chemistry, and that's because of Oak Ridge National Lab. Oak Ridge National Lab is funded by the Department of Energy, and because of that, a lot of their experiments have to do with things that produce energy and trying to have renewable energy sources. So that was an area of chemistry that I actually studied. So that just made it a little bit harder for me to find jobs, find prospects, relate to people. So it was a little bit harder for me when I got out. So I had to do a little bit more hustling when I got out, and that's kind of why I am where I am now. And but at the same time, it was a gratifying experience. I learned a lot from it. And now when people ask me, what should I do? And I'm like, honestly, you really don't need a PhD now. Like, it's cool to have the letter clout. It's cool to have the ego. But outside of that, it's not really going to do anything for you. I mean, you learn how to research just as much as the average PhD chemist does as a master's, but you're more equipped for the job market now. A lot of places now, they don't want PhDs. They want master's level people because they know you can do the work, but they're not taking on as much risk hiring a PhD chemist versus a master's level chemist. So there's a lot that goes into that. But I think that if there were more programs put into place for Black people specifically to thrive in these programs, it would be great. And you have a lot of universities, especially like Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi. It's a predominantly Black school. If people were to actually put resources into that school, there are a lot of bright kids down there, but the area is really poor. So it's hard to say that these people can be successful if they don't have the resources. So I think it's on us to really put the resources in that area so that these people and these students can thrive and become another generation of good scientists.
I feel you, man. Like, do you think that's something that we should be targeting in the community? Like, do we have enough rappers? Can we get some more chemists? You know what I mean? In the neighborhood.
The thing is, like, we have a lot of chemists. There's actually a society of Black chemists called NOBACHE. It's the National Organization of Black Chemists and Chemical Engineers. So there are people.
Is that the Illuminati? Is that part of the Illuminati?
Offshoot of the Boule? Nah, man, nah. It's not the Illuminati, but it's an official organization with that has those degrees in there. But it's a national organization. They have a national meetup every year, and there are a lot of people that show up there. The unfortunate thing is that you realize that a lot of these people are spread out. They're not condensed in one area, and that's what I really feel like is needed, is for a lot of these people to be in the same area so they can work with each other.
Okay, yeah, that's cool, man. Well, carry on the fight for Black academia, but somebody already said this about about your hairlines. You've got quite a following. People came in there and talking about, hey man, that's the hairline guy, man. You thing, you're saving men all over the world saving their hairlines. I seen the pictures. Tell us about your hairline hustle.
The airline hustle. Okay, so back in April, I had one of my followers hit me, and he was like, "Yo, man, I need you to help me regrow my hair. I'll pay your regular consultant fee. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever you need to do. Like, just help me get my hairline back. My consultant fee is $150 an hour." So I'm like, "All right, I'll help you. You know, and whatever." I mean, because obviously hair is not a problem that I have, right? So I'm just like, okay, you know, I'll look at some stuff and I'll kind of figure it out. So I started looking through a couple journals, start looking through like some peer review research, and you know, I know how to find papers without paying for them. So it was pretty easy for me to like find papers that were relevant and do the research on them, do the knowledge on them, do my Googles. So I do that, and I start noticing that there are a lot of journals that are only talking about the same thing. You got these journals that say, "Oh, DHT is the problem. DHT buildup in the scalp." And the more I keep reading, I'm like, man, this is bullshit. DHT has to be a symptom of something else. Like, there's no way that your body's just overproducing DHT for no reason. So okay, let me dig a little bit deeper, see what's going on. And I always had suspicions that, you know, a lot of the mainstream narrative that's pushed about hair loss, and you know, oh, after you get to a certain age, your hair's just gonna start falling out, and you know, you can't beat genetic pattern baldness in your family. And so I'm like, okay, well, when people talk about epigenetics, I mean, we already know that we can turn certain genes on and turn certain genes off. So I mean, and a lot of that is mediated through the environment, what you're exposed to every day. So it's like, okay, let me keep doing a little bit more research. So what I found was for hair loss specifically, there are four things that always overlap. You have stress, you have weak genes, you have chronic inflammation, and you have environmental toxicity. So, you know, a lot of people, you know, when you have people that are cancer patients, when they go through chemotherapy, their hair starts falling out. So I'm like, okay, so that must mean there's a toxin inside of your body that's making your hair fall out. That makes sense. So what if there are other toxins in the environment that are making this happen? Then I started looking at chronic inflammation, because people always talking about Dr. Sebi and talking about inflammation and mucus being at the root of most disease. So I'm like, all right, well, what if inflammation is the cause of hair loss? And it is. When people have alopecia areata, a lot of people think that alopecia is incurable, but alopecia is caused by chronic inflammation. So if you have chronic inflammation, if you stop the chronic inflammation, theoretically, it should also stop hair loss. Then you look at weak genes. Genes you can't do a whole lot about because you inherit them from your parents, but you can begin to change them on the micro level by changing what you do on a daily basis. And then the stress, you can also change your stress levels, you know, being more mindful of things that you're doing and things that you are allowing yourself to be stressed out by. So looked at all those things. I put together a little regimen for him. I was like, here, do this for a month, and then check back with me and we'll go from there. So I randomly get a DM from him probably about a month later, and he showed me the results. And he went from his hairline was probably receded probably about 2 centimeters on both sides. And most of it had grown back in a month. And I'm like, are you sure that these are your pictures? Are you sure you didn't Photoshop this, or this is your hair, right? And he was like, yeah, man, like I couldn't believe it. Like my girl couldn't believe it. Like she used to crack jokes at me, and now she like, damn, babe, your hairline look good now. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. All right, so this literally happened in a month. And he's like, yeah, it's happened in a month. So I'm like, huh, okay, well, that worked better than I expected it to work. So let's see if somebody else might need it. And I put it on the timeline. DMs just started flooding in. Everybody was like, yo, we saw the pictures. We need help, dog. So it's just like, it just kind of took off, man. And, you know, I'm still selling it. I still got a lot of people that you know, having success stories. I mean, I'll be fully transparent. There's some people it's not working for. I have a couple of clients, their growth is really slow, and I've seen their before pictures, and they had heads full of hair, and then their hairlines are coming like receding back this way. And you know, it's hard to figure out exactly what the cause of hair loss is for specific people, because I can't run tests like that. I don't have a lab. If I could actually pinpoint exactly what it is, but because the regimen is focused on 4 different things, or it has 4 different elements to it and is focused on reducing those 4 things, at some point I'll find something that works. That's why I tell people, just to be patient, and regardless of, you may not get the fast results that Ant did, because Ant started getting results within 3 weeks. I have other people that have gotten results within 3 weeks too. Hell, there's some people that get results within a week. So I'm just like, okay, it's working, but for some people it is a little slow, and I'm fully transparent about that. But I also tell you that I'll work with you until you get the results that you want. I'm still testing different oils, still testing, different quantities, and trying to find something that works for other people. Because one thing I have realized is that there's not a one size fits all for everybody. Everybody's native biochemistry is different. So you have to work with that and understand that some things are going to work better for other people than they are for others, and then just be adaptable to that, and then set the expectation for the client to also be adaptable for that. The good thing about setting it at a high price point is that, for one, it's cheaper than any hair loss surgery that you would ever have. Most hair loss surgeries start at like $3,000, so $200 is a steal. And plus, even at that high price point, the average person that buys it, they're not going to give me a lot of grief about it, because they understand, like, okay, this is going to take time. This is an investment. They're not pissy about it after 2 weeks. Like, man, why my hair ain't grew back? Like, I've been bald for 40 years and my hair didn't grow back tomorrow. It's like, it's not supposed to. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, I can't predict that all of this is going to grow back at one time. Only thing I can tell you is that if you be patient and you continue working the program, you'll see some results. I don't have anybody that has not seen any results. I have people that see slow results, but I don't have anybody that has not seen any results. So that's a sign that I have to continue tweaking. For some people, the regimen just works outright and is good, and their stuff grows back. That's generally what people that still have a lot of their hair but are just thinning in spots. So if you have a little bit of crown balding, if your hairline's receding a little bit, but the majority of the rest of your hair is growing, these are the clients that are seeing the best results. The clients that are seeing the worst results are the people whose hairlines have receded, and it's been like that for years. So you have somebody that used to have a head full of hair, their hairline has been slowly receding for probably about the past 5 or 6 years. Those are the people that are seeing the least amount of results. And I think that that's because we're trying to reverse a bunch of stuff at one time, because it takes a lot for your hair to stop growing. You have to think about what hair is. Hair is a receiver and a transmitter. When you think about what hair actually is, so like, think about whiskers on a cat. If a cat lost its whiskers, it wouldn't be able to sense how to walk in between objects, because when it brushes against something, it tells the cat, all right, there's something right here, there's something right here, you can't bump into this. So when you actually think about what hair is, you're not supposed to lose it. Even when we talk about code talkers, the Native Americans, I forget which World War it was, but the code talkers, they would never cut their hair. And that's because it helped them hear better, because your hair can actually pick up different vibrations, pick up different frequencies. So with having an extension like that, that's not supposed to be something that you easily lose. That's why you have a lot of people that grow in the old age that have very, very long hair. That you're not supposed to be prematurely balding. You're really not supposed to be balding at 17, 18, 19, like some people out here. That's indication of something seriously being wrong in the environment with your body if your hair is falling out like that. So I have a lot of people that have been getting good results. They've been working the program. I keep working with them, and I mean, I never expected it to blow up like this, but I mean, people are getting help, and I'm just glad I'm able to help people.
Indeed. Hey, Hoteps, you got anything else for tonight?
Nah, man, thank you. I appreciate you for coming through. Like I told y'all, man, Hoteps got scientists in the stash, man. We coming with all types of crazy shit, man. So don't think we ain't brush up on our studies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, tell everybody where to find you and everything else about your hairline.
You can find me on Twitter. At TJRiggs_TSP. I should probably change that handle. That was from one of the segregationist papers days. I don't think that podcast is coming back. It might, but I don't think it is. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I'm not super active on a lot of other social media. I am on Instagram. It's Tonight the Science Guy on Instagram. But generally you find me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. Just doing whatever, tweeting whatever I feel like. The hair link is actually in my pinned tweet on my account. It's also in my bio. If you have any questions about that, you can either DM me on Twitter. You can click the link. The link has all the information that you need. Also has a frequently asked questions section that's about 10 questions long. I add questions as I get them. And you can also reach me at via email, info@tonightthescienceguy.com if you have any questions about that, or if you just want to chop it up about anything. I get a lot of people emailing me and DMing me about being in STEM. You know, a lot of Black people that are anxious about wanting to do that. So if you just want some kind of life advice, you just need an ear to talk to or something like that, hit me up.
Swaggy.
Hey, Tonight, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all having me.
All right, I'm lagging a bit.
You lagging?
Oh no, is he off? We ready to go for the rest of the show? I want to thank everybody in the chat. Thanks for all those super chats. I don't think I can scroll up to get them all. But thanks, everybody. Mary O'Donnell said thanks for the lecture. Who else? Ken K, thanks for the $5. Chief Cliff Lee. Hotep is trying to get those fries pregnant. You was messing them fries up, bro. Like, God damn.
Yo, Wendy's got the best fries.
Yeah, yo, for real, facts. Those are facts. Wendy's does have the best fries. Chad wanted to know, should he wanted to ask Tonight, should he have been eating those fries? Shane Wolf, thanks for donation, $10. And I think somebody else donated too, but I missed that one. But on to the show. Where do you want to start off, man? You want to start off with last night, the debates?
Let's start with last night.
First, rest in peace, Kamala Harris. Yo, did you see what was trending, man? It was
they tried to throw the side up there.
Yeah, man.
First he was trending, and then they was like, "Nah, get that out of here." They gave it an ice bait treatment, knocked her off the trending topics, and everybody made a big stink. And then they let her trend again, but not until like later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was just trending. Kamala Harris destroyed, but now they took it down again.
Yeah, they even removed the autocomplete for Kamala Harris destroyed. They removed the autocomplete. It was there, and then they removed it. I don't know. But yeah, Tulsi, she did her numbers on Kamala. You know, Kamala looked like she just got shot. Like she was off guard. Like your team should have had you prepared for that shot. Like I don't understand how she wasn't prepared for that. You know somebody gonna call you a cop, and then her physical reaction, like when she put her head down and she shook her head, and her body language just wasn't trained either. I don't know what the right protocol is, but it wasn't whatever her body language was. She looked like she got hit.
Yo, that was crazy. That was well played by Tulsi. Left Bay, remember the original left? Well, the greater Left Bay.
Yeah, so but they calling her Gab Bay and
But yeah, you're right. She didn't know how to respond. What she's supposed to do, she's supposed to stand 10 toes down on a record. And she didn't come. She kind of wants to be that way, but then she kind of wants to be the super progressive, and say, we locked up so many more people. We shouldn't have did that. That was the job to do. That's what the white man gave you the job to do. And that's what you should have did. I don't understand. I don't know. She played herself. She's done. She's cooked. She's over. Kamala Harris. If Tulsi Gabbard didn't do anything else, she took out Kamala Harris.
Oh man. Yeah. Kamala's down. Them down. It's a wrap. Can I just break down Tulsi real fast? Because somebody brought up something, bro. They said Tulsi's a globalist plant.
Okay.
And first of all, yeah, you're right. I did, not to take nothing away from the lady, but she sits on the Council of Foreign Relations. She's a member of the Council of Foreign Relations. Council of Foreign Relations runs this whole country, CFR. And I said, yo, I think she's a clone. And the more I watch her, I'm like, yo, this woman is straight out of a Born. I remember the Born Identity.
Yeah, Treadstone.
Yeah, she's straight out of a Jason Bourne facility, yo. Like, she's a little too perfect, yo. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is, I guess. I don't know, but she's just like, yo, she's like a Terminator, yo. She like a female Terminator. Yo. I don't want no sauce with her, yo. I want no sauce with Tulsi.
Yeah, yeah. I did watch most of the debates. Kamala clearly looked like an ass. The fucking now the media has jumped on Cory Booker's dick. Just because he gave this, all in the Kool-Aid, don't know the flavor. So that's one of the oldest black sayings in. And they're giving him credit like he invented the wheel. I'm like,
and he didn't even say it right. He didn't even say it right. He said if you dip it in the Kool-Aid and you don't know the flavor. No, it's not how it go. You all up in the Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor. Oh, Corey ain't even black.
Yeah, so I think they might try to adjust, because I seen a lot of people saying he had a strong night. He just didn't look like an idiot. His attacks on Biden came off a little better than Kamala. Yang Gang was still out there. The funniest thing about Yang, man, you could ask him about foreign policy. He'd be like, well, if we give everybody UBI and $1,000 a month, there will be no more world war.
Yeah, it's just playing for everything. Inflation. It's playing for everything is inflation. he's literally Mao 2.0.
But he was getting some pop, man.
He's Asian. People are brainwashing and thinking that Asians are automatically smart. Like, it's not even fair. It's like, oh, look, we got an Asian man running. We have to listen to him. I go, fuck how your eyes look. Nigga, you the
absolute worst.
Yeah, nigga, you's a dumbass to me. How you feel about Marianne Williamson?
Oh man, I don't know. She seems like, the classic, the 70s, white woman, I guess hippie type of white woman, you know what I mean? But I think she's smarter than, that gives that aura she gives off, you know what I'm saying? I don't think she's a dummy. But I don't know. I have no, I don't know. It's just all theater, man.
For me, she's like the mall, right?
Yeah.
That middle-aged white woman. I like Marianne. I love her. I really do. I got a soft spot for Marianne Lioness. You know what I'm saying? I like her, you know what I'm saying? The other day, somebody was like, oh, I don't understand why black people don't like Marianne. So I said, why you say that? He was like, because she's the only one champion reparations. And I'm just like, that's what it took? Little reparations talk, and now you ready for Marianne? I'm like, I just like Marianne because she really tries, like, she's really selling it, right? Like a lot of these people, they show up with Bernie, we gotta talk about Cardi B. Like he showed Cardi B. What's name want to show up? Marianne went to the church, held hands, and she had niggas in there crying. Black folks was in there in tears when she said that prayer. We have to absolve us. What she said? She said, we are guilty of this and we have to apologize to our black brothers and sisters for slavery and oppression. I was like, yo, she landed on dick. And I looked in the background and I seen the black lady, she was tearing up. I said, go ahead, Marianne, you got these niggas fool.
Eating that thing right up, man.
Eating that up. Yeah, but I appreciate the effort. I can't say nothing bad about her. You know what I mean? Maybe she's genuine, maybe she's not, but I love the effort. It's very, for me, all this is about like how entertaining can you be, right? That's why I like Trump's my number one guy. He's the most entertaining. Like I need my president to entertain me because they ain't gonna do nothing.
You're right about that. Donation, John Lemley. It was Lemley's donation. My first donation was about your other left bay getting Mario Lopez in trouble for talking like a reasonable adult.
Oh yeah,
that was your girl. Yeah, that was your girl, Candace.
She set him up. Curtis School. He alluded to the fact that she set him up. Yo, what you think? Candace always set up Mario Lopez for the fall. What do you think about this transgender thing? You know you ain't supposed to ask the wife of Hollywood that question. And Mario dumbass gonna answer it. Mario, nobody schooled Mario what's going on out here. You can't be talking about that community like that, man. They protected.
Yeah, definitely. Because if you looked at the comments to the tweets, I would say 90% were in favor of what Mario Lopez said,
Right.
So it's not the public pressure that brought that on. This is how, the elites, how they mold societies, man. They were like, nah, man, you ain't supposed to say that. They call him about his job. They might have called about his life. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, the backtrack came.
Oh, yeah. I knew that was coming.
I thought it was going to hold out because I was like, there's not really an outrage. Everybody's coming out like, yeah, man, like about time somebody said it.
Yeah. AC Slater ain't never let me down with his chauvinistic ways. You ever watch Saved by the Bell?
No, I never watched that. All
right, so on Saved by the Bell, he plays like this misogynistic. They used to call him a pig. So he like always talks to girls like they just objects. You know what I'm saying? So when he said that comment, I was like, yo, AC Slater holding it down for us. Still being that strong, toxic masculinity we need. You know what I mean? And I'm not even mad he apologized because if he didn't apologize, that'd be the last we hear from Mario. So, this issue, apologize, move on. What you said was not wrong. Let's say that.
Yeah. That's the thing. A lot of people were mad that he apologized. I'm like, man, he got a family to look after and everything else, man. I think the problem is that he had to apologize. That's what we should be getting mad about. That not right. That he apologized. Anyway, shout out to Mario, Mr. Lopez. Is that his last name?
Mario Lopez.
Oh, okay, my bad, man.
Yeah. What's up with Bernie and Cardi?
Yo, man, I was kind of off social media that day, so I didn't really hear. I seen the tweet you set out that you said conservatives are arguing about Bernie, about a Cardi B. So I was like, man, I didn't even get into that, man. So
yo, like, Candace Owens challenged her to a debate. I'm like, yo, I responded. I was like, yo, I'd rather watch y'all mud wrestle. You about to debate Cardi B on politics and economics? That don't even go together, yo. That does not go together. You can't take trap houses and hoeing and mix it with economics. And actually, you probably could. It's the same shit, really.
Yo, Candace is quick to ask for a debate, man.
Yo, she reaching. She need a debate against somebody. Tell her to debate me. She won't do that shit, I bet. She won't accept that shit. But she reaching out there. She wants somebody to debate, get her little clout tokens. I get it. It's part of the marketing thing. She got Cardi B to respond to on Twitter. But the sad part is Cardi B was more mature about the matter than Candace in the response. Cardi B was like, why don't you take that $250K and give it to a charity? Correct. Cardi. How you getting scolded by Cardi on social media? You know what I mean? Cardi speaking, the common sense. She said, look, I'm talking to all the candidates. I want to see what they got to say. And there's nothing wrong with that. She's right. She's got every, right to go talk to the candidates and do these little specials or whatever. What we need to be is mad about is the fact that these Democrats thought it was cool to select Cardi B to speak for us or to be our ear. This is our leadership. Cardi B. No, that's not who we're sending into an intellectual arena. We can send, we got delegates ready.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. I remember Jason Whitlock. A lot of people get on Whitlock, call him all types of names. I halfway messed with Jason Whitlock. He got on LeBron about the thing, but he said that a couple years ago. He was like, man, y'all got to stop sending these rappers out here, man. You know what I mean? Like, why are rappers like representing, there's a danger in that. Now we got Cardi B in the political realm. Like, she's supposed to represent, the streets. She's supposed to know what the streets are what the streets need. Cardi B. Same woman that was still admitted drugging men just a few years ago. This is who we're listening to. Jason Whitlock was right. You know what I mean? This is, it'd be different if the rappers was
intellectual, like Lupe.
Right. Yeah, like Lupe. It would be different if it was that. But you know how they got the game messed up. So them rappers ain't gonna have. They're really not gonna have that same type of clout.
Yeah, it's terrible. And then be mad when Kanye won't talk to Trump.
Like, yeah, what is the difference, man? Like, how can people be mad at somebody talking to Trump when somebody talks to Bernie, who's been in government forever, and everything that you blame government for, he's been a hand in. He's been there,
right? And then it's like the conservatives. I was really talking about conservatives in general, but they were all like attacking Cardi B and like, what do you got to say? Didn't you? I'm like, yo, Cardi didn't even say anything, yo. All she did was let Bernie talk to her and ask questions, and y'all attacking Cardi B. I'm like, why do y'all care? Like, it used to be, we don't care what celebrities got to say. Now it's like, y'all attacking Cardi B. Y'all got to pick one. And again, like, y'all playing the black community when you acknowledge people like this. Like, you should have seen the Cardi B thing and kept on scrolling, conservatives. We should have seen that and kept it scrolling. There's no debate to be had with people that aren't intellectually equipped to have these discussions. And y'all quick to give them a microphone and give them power. And that's just a losing strategy, man.
Yeah, indeed. Super chats. Jeffrey Hyman, thanks for donation. I'm out for presidents to represent me. Say what? Shout out to Nas. Nas dropped Lost Tapes 2.
Yeah, how was it?
I like it.
Yeah,
it's about.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, it's about 4.25 out of 5.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's good for him. John Lemley, now that Bernie is bringing out Cardi for clout, Trump needs to feature on the next ASAP mob tape. Free ASAP. I think his trial has started. They quick to get to trial. His trial has started. Da Vinci, they gotta coerce the impressionable. Thanks for the donation.
Yeah.
Dietrich, sir, are you talking about reparations without a liberal narrative? Let me see your license. Step out the car, please. Victor, we can talk about Baltimore, man.
Oh yeah,
this Victor Blackwell, man. Every time I see a black man on TV or like on CNN, I wonder if he's gonna cry. Like, all the black men that go on CNN to cry, it seems like to me.
Bruh. I was seeing that come across my timeline. I'm like, is he fixing to cry? I know he ain't finna cry. I'm looking at him, and I didn't see not one tear. So I'm like, oh, now you pretending you crying? For these white folk on CNN, for these white liberals on CNN? Oh, nigga. Oh, hell no. We gotta, yo, Chad, you get his black card, yo. You giving his black card to Chad, yo. This dude is terrible, man. You getting up on CNN crying over some Trump tweets.
Yeah, and all he said was the truth. Hold on. I want to know this because I'm old enough to remember where black folks used to take pride. If they came from a rough neighborhood, they used to take pride in that. They're like, man, I come from the streets. I come from the slum. I come from West Baltimore. I come from North Philly. I remember black folks used to answer like that, right?
Yeah.
Victor Blackwell, I come from them streets.
Them CNN checks must look lovely. Oh, man. They probably got a mean benefits package.
Yeah, so that brought Sharpton out. It's Sharpton week, not Shark week. It's Al Sharpton week. He's back on the prowl. He came down. He was just was he in Texas? Where was he at before he came to Baltimore?
I don't know where he was, but he ambulance chasing. He's like, "What they talking about Baltimore? Yeah, somebody book me a flight to Baltimore. We going to Baltimore." Had the press ready, all set up, ready to talk. Like, here you go, ready to shark another deal. He's the worst. You know it's trash in Baltimore, nigga. That's why you ain't been there.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he was doing some stuff for migrants. And this came up, so we got to talk about black folks, man. We got to help them out for now because it's about Trump. You know what I'm saying?
You see how distracted this is how the machine keeps people distracted, right? The media props up, kids at the border. So you hop on a flight, you go to help the kids on the border. Media pops up, Donald Trump is tweeting about Baltimore. Got to get on the flight. Now we flying to Baltimore. How do you expect to ever repair any part of America when the media can just blow their whistle and you just shoot all across the nation at they will? This is how we move. This is how DeRay was moving. Every time something happened, he was on another flight to that city. You ain't cleaned up Ferguson. You ain't cleaned up Flint. Like, how we keep moving on to these different projects is because we're controlled by media.
Yeah, and I kind of like it. A lot of people, I seen a couple black folks, they take advantage. The spotlight was on Baltimore. A lot of people brought out them cameras and showed people what was really the deal in Baltimore. It's just a shame. It's more of the same with, whatever Trump says, the left has made it so you can't agree with it or anything like that. If Trump says the sky is blue, you have to say it's red if you're on the left, because, you can't give Trump any quarter. Cummings has been in that position since the 90s, and that's the way it's been. When is he going to be held accountable? When's Elijah Cumstain going to be held accountable? You know what I'm saying?
How much billions went in there under the Obama administration? Like
$9 billion, $4 billion, wasn't it?
Something stupid, something crazy went into Baltimore and just disappeared, just like North schools under Cory Booker. Money be going in the Dems. Dem money, nothing come out of it. Money go in, nothing come out. It's like a black hole.
Yeah.
I seen a lot of people clout chasing Baltimore this week. I was borderline disgusted. Today I saw a TBUSA video. Everybody running to Baltimore to get to school. And I'm like, yo, y'all keep showing me the same properties. I seen that trash bag on like 5 different YouTube channels. Faces going down there filming the same bag, the same trash bag, yo. You know what I'm saying? It's like once it's covered, you kind of gotta support the journalist that's behind that, and that's been Kimberly Klatchik or something like that. She was the one that really broke this. The black chick, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I know you're talking about.
Yeah, Kimberly Klatchik or something like that. She's the one that really broke this and really went on the ground and was the first one to film them trash bags and them disheveled properties. And that's where the video you see that Trump shared is her footage, and it's just like now everybody's flying down there. Scott Press was the only one I felt like had a good idea. He actually flew down there and said he wanted to clean up. So shout out to him if he's actually doing that. But that's how I feel like, you know, when you see stuff like this, don't just be flying down and to be filming black people like it's some kind of National Geographic documentary. Yeah, look at these wild niggas around here. Let's see what these wild niggas got to say. You know, see what happened was these politicians, then they get, you know what I mean? And then they got the ignorant ones out there that can't even articulate themselves. It's like, man, go down there and help somebody. Stop interviewing people, man. That work's already done. So that kind of disgusted me. The other thing that this reminded me of is the fact that a lot of these properties can be repossessed by the neighborhood, and people aren't teaching that. Some of them call it squatting, but the better way to do it is through adverse possession. And it's just to maintain the property. You know, if the community got together and maintain the property, they could own that whole block, those blocks. If they just maintain the property, they can own it under adverse possession. But that's just, you know, in your culture, got to be wanting to have a clean neighborhood to begin with. You know, some of the people that are getting these CNN checks can pay an exterminator to come out and exterminate properties of rat infestation, so people can go in there and clean up. You can call a sanitation service and have them go clean up. You can do that out of your own personal pocket. So the fact that people don't do this, you know, shows that they don't really care. The other thing is the Trump administration has the Urban Revitalization Act, and under that, I believe they secured over like $100 billion. And basically what's going to happen is basically a gentrification fund. You know, I'll just be frank about it. And the funny thing is, it's anybody can access this money, right? It's basically like free money to go and build up housing, and black people can access this. And this is one of the biggest tricks that white liberals have ever pulled, was to convince black people to hate Donald Trump at a time when the Donald Trump administration releases a fund of $100 billion to clean up neighborhoods, to revitalize them. And then so since all the black people are don't want to go near Trump, this money is only going to be accessed by whites and white conservatives. And they're going to turn around and they're going to say, why neighborhoods are gentrified? Yeah, it was gentrified because the media told you not to deal with Donald Trump. Meanwhile, there was a whole fund sitting there waiting for you. You could have bought back the block with the government money, but they got you hating Trump. So it's a lot of this media psyop stuff that's just really got me like, you know, like Baltimore could be a completely different situation if people were just intellectually honest.
Yeah, you're right, man. And you got to think, man, that's probably the reason the Democrats are doing that. You know, I mean, they want to keep people in cities like Baltimore and others, keep them right where they are, you know, and keep them helpless. That's why Elijah Cummings has been, you know, in his position for so many years. He hasn't helped anybody but himself. And Baltimore's been the same. He should be the first one to go, man.
Absolutely. You know, I'm a proponent of, if you go to do your job and you've been doing it for a certain amount of time and things aren't getting better, it's time to swap somebody out. Maybe not to your own fault. Maybe you just don't know what you're doing. I think he's over the hill. I think a lot of these politicians are just over the hill. When you look at them, they look really old and like they're going through dementia. So it's time to rotate some new young life in there.
Indeed. Super chats. Thomas Richardson, thanks for the donation. Cardi B isn't black. Thank you. Love is a 4-letter word. Okay. Love is a 4-letter word. Thank you. Big love, Hoteps. Thank you. Love is a 4-letter word. Welcome back. Chad Lamone, tell Unc you can't comb your beard on HBO.
Oh boy, man. We're gonna get a special comb just for HBO.
LeBron.
Yeah.
You see,
I seen him. First of all, I'm gonna just come out and say it. He doing too much.
That's all
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a parent coach.
Right.
I am a parent coach. And in our league, you're not allowed to step on the field, right? You're not allowed to. Now, I know how it would get when you down at Rucker Park, right? You down at Rucker Park, somebody come jam, it's 30 people on the court.
That's part of the culture.
It's part of the culture, right? So at that point, we got to look at this game and say, well, if that's how the AAU run their league, where parents could just run on the court, who am I to criticize?
Right.
But he was all on the court. Like, fam, you almost at half court. I know you're sitting out there while I know you're excited, but he was on the court, yo. You can't be on the court, yo.
But
what do you think, yo?
But the reaction, I'm like, first of all, like, everything's a take on Twitter and online. You know what I mean? That was my exact reaction. I was like, he's just doing too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go into this deep dive on it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? I was like, he's doing too much. But the thing of what is when people were saying that, they were like, hold up. The people I just said that, but when I seen people, they were like defending LeBron, like there was nothing wrong with it. Like, I'm like, come on, man. We can admit, like, all right, LeBron, chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was, man. It didn't have to be this deep dive. I know he didn't have a father, and I think sometimes he probably overcompensated. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's probably like this with his first this child. He's got a younger one. He might not go overboard with it. You know what I'm saying? This time on his younger child, he's learning just like to be a father, like a lot of people are. But I don't think we're helping him by just saying, he's being a great father and stuff like that. And what would you do if your son was out there? I'm like, man, I wouldn't be getting on the court. I'm like, God damn, man.
Yeah. I look at this as like one of those situations that just shouldn't be news, period. Right. Like you got some people blowing it up saying, oh, he's a bad father. And then other people blowing up saying he's a great father. And I'm just looking at it like, why are you on the court? Like, this has nothing to do with fatherhood. This has to do with an adult on the court while kids is trying to play ball. And you wilding out like Mr. Rucker. Like, that's all I saw.
When he got in the layup line, I started dunking. I was like, what is wrong with this guy?
Yeah, I saw that too. And I'm like, you in the layup line, though? Just let your son do him. Like, you're a little too excited to be out there and be seen. You know what I mean? And then some people saying, but it's a show for the kids. And I'm like, that is true. You got LeBron James there. The kids come. They do want to see LeBron James dunk, right? So it's an excellent alibi. I can't say nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It just looks funny, yo. You see a dad in the layup line with the kid. It looks weird, yo. It looks weird. It's like when Drake tried to get in the layup line. Like, yo, you're not on the team.
I know, man. It's crazy. John Lemley, LeBron is the Beyonce of the NBA. Yeah, he definitely is, man. My other take. You know what my basketball take was. He's slowly not going to be the best player in NBA, and he grew up in like the social media era. This is like before, Jordan didn't have this internet. He grew up in an internet era, and he's always been the guy since he was like in middle school. I think 8th grade, he was on this Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
But now his star is going to start to fade. Here he comes. Oh man, this is my chance to shine, to get a viral moment. That's how I think he's thinking.
Yeah, he loved the spotlight. He always dancing to the rapper songs and whatnot. He a diva.
Yeah, I mean, to each his own. I mean, I wouldn't be like that, but some people like that. I know a lot of people like that love the spotlight. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That's his personality. You know what I mean? That's how he lives his life. Like, who am I to judge him? Yeah. I wouldn't live my life like that, but I'm not him. Maybe if I was 6'8" and was a monster in the NBA, maybe I would be acting like that. I don't know. Be wilding out in my son's game in the layup. Maybe if I could do a 360 dunk, I would. I don't know.
Maybe. They got white robots, man.
What they said the white robots is racist.
They said white robots is racist.
They said every time they make a robot is white, so the scientists got racism. Jesus Christ.
Yo, I was on poll. They say the black robots don't show up to work, man.
I hate Paul. Yo, big F you to Paul. Yo, 2 little fingers. Yo.
You know, I'll be reading like sometimes I'll be like, man, like I can't. It'd be so corny. I'd be laughing.
Yo, Paul is what the internet used to be.
Yeah, that's the only reason I really go there, man. Because you know the posts are starting to be shit. You know, they're all alphabet boys are in there, but you know, at least every once in a while, people actually try to be funny or try to be different, not be politically correct and shit like that.
When Ice Bay trended, I looked at the poll on Ice Bay. They was going ham in there. I could have did a whole stream just on Ice Bay comments on poll. They had jokes, man.
Yo, you see Epstein, man? They said he was trying to find out how to cut his head off and preserve it or some shit like transhumanism.
That's what he trying to do?
Allegedly.
I tell you, they're going to do some tech funny stuff. That's probably his clone in there. That's his body double. He trying to transfer his consciousness to his body double. See what I'm telling you, yo? I just said this last week, yo. Oh, man, we need somebody to verify the DNA of that man right now. How we don't know he escaped with El Chapo? They probably both got body doubles out of there already.
Oh, yeah, he probably, I don't know, man.
Why is Kamala destroyed trending?
Is it trending again?
Yeah, it's trending.
I told you they keep spiking it, man. People really hate Kamala Harris, man. They really want her out the paint, man. And you know what? I seen did you see Charlemagne come out and endorse Kamala Harris?
Did he?
Yeah, man. Come on, man.
Oh no, it's not trending. That's
early. Why would you come out so early, first and foremost?
Yeah. And say he's supporting Kamala Harris?
Yeah, man.
You know, one of them feminist friends made that phone call. It was probably like, who's the girl with the big teeth? Jamila Lemieux.
Oh, yeah.
She probably made that phone call. I need you to come out in support of Kamala. I'm working on her campaign now. You know how this stuff goes. You know, pretty much everybody black is going to be forced to support Kamala. Right?
Yeah.
Is that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I know ADOS is they took credit for the Tulsi. They said they gave Tulsi the ammo to the fire on Kamala, man. ADOS is taking credit for that. I seen that.
Yeah, shout out to my ADOS homies.
Somebody said we should get ADOS on the pod, man.
We should, man. I got a couple of ADOS homies. I gotta vet them though, but tell Tariq Nasheed dumbass to come on here. Somebody get Tariq Nasheed on the line and tell that nigga come on our show so I could cuss him out in person. And he can represent ADOS.
Yeah. Anything else? What else happened this week, man?
Now ADOS jumped on what's the name? They jumped on the Marianne Wilson cats.
Oh,
because Marianne Wilson.
They're really jumping on that.
Well, because she's mentioning reparations, you know what I mean? And then it's kind of I saw a little bit of a split where they're supporting her, and some people are saying that, you know, she should get credit for making reparations a conversation. Like, she didn't make that a conversation. ADOS made it a conversation.
Yo, what is with black people and credit, man?
Yo, I don't know, bro.
Yo, everybody. Yo, I swear to God, black folks love taking credit for something, man. If you can't, it's all right not to get credit for something, man. Like, if I know in my heart I was a part of something, I don't need somebody to tell me I did it. It's like they need a pat on the back or something like that. You know?
Yeah, I think
you need to move in silence, man.
Yeah, you know, as long as something gets clout, you know, or you know, especially when it's something for the betterment of a society, and it starts moving, you should just get behind it, right? Whatever that is, just get behind it because that's part of what you wanted. But you know, the ADOS, I think what they're afraid of is, so I think Marianne did some calculation or 500 billion or something like that, and Michael Malice did a calculation. He said it came out to something like 3,500 a person or 13,000 a person, whatever it was. It wasn't enough for me to say thank you. It was really like some lowball number. But I think that's what they're worried about, is the fact that if somebody else leads that conversation, they're going to also lead the stipulations.
Right. Okay. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
You know, for some, for other people, you know, it's just not ADOS. They want credit. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there just want the credit. They credit chasing. But you know, I think the more intelligent ones, they want to make sure the conversation happens on their terms. I'm not taking anything less than tax exempt status. You know what I mean? Like that's where the conversation starts with. You got to remove me from this IRS scheme. You know what I mean? I wish I could remove myself from the Federal Reserve note somehow, but buy Bitcoin at coinbizapp.com.
Indeed.
But like I said earlier, you know, we were talking about America being a socialist nation, and you know, people rebutted and they said America's free market capitalism. And to be honest, you can't have a free market if the currency is controlled. Mm-hmm. It's not a free market. If the mechanism used as a means of transferring goods and services is controlled, the market is not free market. It's not a free market. It's under arrest. If the entire market went through Bitcoin, it'd be a free market. But because it's going through the 12 banks of the nation, it's not a free market. We don't live in a free market, people. And because of that fact, it's just why I'm on this reparations thing of I don't want fiat notes. Like they keep feeding us fiat notes, right? They say, oh, we give you this money. I don't want that trash ass money. I don't want that trash. Give me tax exempt status and I'll do me. I want corporate tax exempt status too. Up until my first 10 million.
Do you think
these are the type of conversations we have to have if we're going to talk about reparations? You know what I mean? It seems like everybody don't want to have that conversation. And white people, we need white people who were descendants of those who fought against slavery. Y'all get reparations too. Y'all tax exempt status.
Dems must pay.
Dems must pay. Dems must pay. Also, there were white slaves. White people deserve reparations. Matter of fact, every single United States citizen deserves reparations for being raped by the Central Bank of America. And that's all I have to say about that.
Oh my gosh, man.
That can't go on HBO. I didn't know. Right there in my contract.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You got anything else? I don't know. Had a good show tonight. Had Tanae on. Please, people, go follow him. If you have any suggestions, hit us up on the email for Hoteps been told you at gmail.com. Hit the email up, ask us, questions. You have suggestions of people you want to on the show and whatnot. Just hit us up on Twitter and Gmail.
Keith Drummond said, $5 super chat. How do you guys feel on the future of Bitcoin and crypto in the United States? Well, that's a really tough question because at some point, the merchants are going to come down on this thing. And the thing is, they're going to come down on the exchanges. and the exchanges are basically, points of centralization. I'm optimistic on Bitcoin. I'm worried about its future from a regulation sense. When we talk about, socialism and, capitalism, if we lived in a capitalist nation, they wouldn't be trying to regulate how we interact with Bitcoin. And they're already trying to regulate how we interact with Bitcoin. That's not free market. That's socialism. When you're trying to tell us how to interact with this currency and they're trying to regulate it. I think in a ANCAP society, we would have some sort of committee that would work for the greater good of the community, that would be peer reviewed, that would handle this stuff. We don't need government. People can govern themselves. But, again, the merchants want to stick their hand in this thing. So just pay attention to, these regulations. And that's pretty much going to tell you the future. I think what's going to happen is going to be a split. There's going to be two coins. It's going to be banker coin, whatever that may be. And then there's going to be Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is going to be more like the underground thing for the people. And interesting things that happen there as far as being anonymous and encrypted transactions are concerned. But I think Libra was their test. Libra, the Facebook thing, was their first test to see how people will respond to this new digital currency that's not Bitcoin and is establishment based. And I think that was like the test dummy for what's to come. So pay attention to that Libra conversation, because it's going to lead to another conversation.
Indeed.
Word up. And get your Bitcoin at coinbaseapp.com. Support the Hoteps. We are in fintech business. That's all I got,
That's all I got, man.
Y'all be safe, y'all.
All right, man. Thanks. Take it easy, y'all.